An octopus can turn invisible in under a second. But here's the strange part: the animal doing it might be completely colorblind. Octopuses are famous for one thing above all else: they vanish. Not by hiding, by becoming their surroundings. Sand, coral, even the mottled pattern of a rock, replicated across their skin in under a second. Watch it happen and it looks less like camouflage and more like a magic trick with no explanation. For decades, the explanation seemed obvious. Scientists assumed octopuses had extraordinary color vision, that they were reading their environment the way a painter reads a canvas, matching hue for hue, then reproducing it on their own skin. It's the story most nature documentaries still tell. But research into octopus eye anatomy tells a very different story. Their eyes contain only one type of light-sensitive photoreceptor. Human eyes, by comparison, have three, which is what lets us distinguish red from green from blue. With only one receptor type, octopuses are very likely colorblind, seeing the world in shades of contrast and brightness, not hue. So here's the paradox that's kept marine biologists busy for years. How does a colorblind animal produce some of the most convincing, most precise color camouflage in the entire animal kingdom? The leading theory, and one that's gained real traction in recent marine biology research, is that octopuses may not be seeing color with their eyes at all. They may be sensing it with their skin. Their skin contains light-sensitive proteins called opsins, the same family of proteins found in eyes, ours included. For a long time, opsins in skin were treated as a biological leftover, a coincidence with no real function. But researchers studying cephalopod skin found these opsins are active and responsive to light, not dormant. Some scientists now believe this means an octopus's entire body may function as a diffuse, full-surface light sensor, effectively letting it see light and color information directly through its skin, bypassing the limitations of its eyes entirely. Under this theory, an octopus isn't just an animal with eyes and a body. It's an animal that may be seeing with almost every inch of itself at once. It's a strange idea, but it's not unprecedented in nature. Some species of sea urchins, which have no eyes at all, are known to sense light and shadow across their entire spiny surface. The octopus theory pushes that same idea onto a far more behaviorally complex animal, one already famous for solving puzzles, opening jars, and recognizing individual human faces. Whatever is doing the sensing, the real machinery of the disguise sits in 3 layers of specialized cells working together, stacked like sheets of a display screen. The top layer is made of chromatophores, tiny sacs of pigment, each surrounded by a ring of muscle. When that muscle contracts, the sac stretches wide and the pigment becomes visible across a larger area of skin. When it relaxes, the sac shrinks back down and the color all but disappears. An octopus has direct neural control over these muscles, which is why the color change happens in a fraction of a second. It's closer to flexing a muscle than growing a pigment change the way, say, a chameleon's slower hormonal shift works. Beneath the chromatophores sit the iridophores. These don't contain pigment at all, they're made of stacked, mirror-like plates that reflect and bend light, the same basic principle behind the shimmer on a soap bubble or the inside of an abalone shell. Iridophores are what give octopus skin its metallic blues, greens, and golds, colors no pigment alone could produce. And underneath that is a base layer of leucophores, which scatter white light evenly, giving the whole system a neutral canvas to build on, similar in function to the white base coat a painter uses before adding color on top. 3 layers: pigment, mirrors, and a white base, all controlled live, in real time, by an animal that may be reading its environment through its own hide. What makes this more remarkable than the mechanism itself is the speed. An octopus can shift its entire skin pattern in under a second, faster than a human blink. That's not a slow adaptation like a chameleon settling into a new background over several minutes. It's closer to a screen refreshing. And that speed isn't just used for hiding. Researchers who study cephalopod behavior, most notably at marine labs studying species like the Caribbean reef octopus and the mimic octopus, have documented rapid color shifts used to startle approaching predators with a sudden flash of contrast, to communicate mood and intent to other octopuses at close range, and in some of the most striking documented cases, to mimic the exact shape, texture, and movement of entirely different animals. Flatfish gliding along the seabed, banded sea snakes, even the spines of a lionfish. That's not simple color matching. That's active impersonation, performed by an animal with no vocal cords and, by most accounts, no idea what flatfish even looks like from the outside. So the picture that emerges isn't of a colorblind animal doing a clumsy approximation of camouflage. It's of an animal that may have found an entirely different way to perceive color, not through its eyes, but through its skin, and built one of the most sophisticated disguise systems in nature on top of that alternate sense. It raises a genuinely open question that marine biologists are still working through. If an octopus can sense color through its body, what else might it be capable of sensing that we simply haven't found a way to measure yet? What gets me about this isn't just the mechanism. It's that we almost missed it entirely by assuming intelligence and perception have to look the way ours does. We built the colorblind, so it can't really be seeing color theory on the shape of our own eyes. The octopus just quietly built a workaround using its whole body, and never once tried to explain itself. If you want the next one of these the moment it's out, the Raven's Planning Ahead video is next. That's what the subscribe button is for.